What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So before I get into this video, I want to give a big shout out once again to the brother Wizzy Wave for the $5 donation via the Cash App. All right, much respect to Wizzy Wave for showing love to the channel. All right, so much respect to him for coming through. You may remember earlier this summer when Darvin Ham was being introduced as the next head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. There were a lot of reports out saying that one of his first appointees as an assistant coach was going to be Rasheed Wallace. Now, of course, Rasheed Wallace played, I think, 16 years in the NBA and won a championship back in 2004 with the Detroit Pistons. And it was pretty much agreed that this was going to be a positive signing. Rasheed Wallace was a skilled big man, and he could help Anthony Davis as far as his game in the post. But then, maybe 3 weeks later, it was reported that no, Rasheed Wallace will not be part of the Lakers coaching staff without much explanation, even though it was reported earlier that he was going to be joining the team. So, in this video, I have a question. Or better yet, I have a possible reason why he didn't join the coaching staff. Could it be that LeBron's spitefulness kept him off of the coaching seat in Los Angeles? So this is what I'm talking about. Do you remember an interview that Rasheed Wallace did a year ago? A little bit less than a year ago, September of 2021. He was on the podcast called The $1 Million Worth of Game Show. And on this podcast, he said that in his opinion, LeBron James would not have been able to replicate his performances, his game, during the prime of his era. He said, quote, he probably would have done good with his physical stature, with him being bigger than the majority of the rest of the players. So he probably would have held his own. But I don't think he would be as successful as he is now. It's a whole different era back then. I couldn't necessarily say that he would have been a beast, but I think he would have held his own. All right, so he says, I wouldn't necessarily say that he would have been a beast, but I think he would have held his own. So when you really look at it, he's saying, I think LeBron would probably be like a guy averaging 24, 25, maybe 7 rebounds, maybe 6, 7 assists. He'd still be a good player. He just wouldn't be a 38-8 guy. 27, 9-9 guy. He still hold his own, but he wouldn't be quite the same player. And I think a lot of us feel that way. But we do know that LeBron is especially sensitive to criticism. Especially. So it makes a lot of sense. If that burned LeBron, right? When an opportunity comes for him to coach you, he don't want that. He don't want to coach somebody that don't believe that he the GOAT. Because shit, man, we already know he's sensitive as a motherfucker because he has all of these sycophants in the media who are there to kiss his ass. When LeBron didn't win league MVP a couple of years ago, I think it was during the bubble. Remember how he called out certain reporters who he thought was cool with him, and people that didn't vote for him for as far as MVP, and subliminally threatened them and shit. Man, he's just a big bitch as a motherfucker, man. Sometimes LeBron is a big ass bitch, bro. So at the end of the day, it makes perfect sense to me. Because at the end of the day, he has gone after people in the past who he didn't like, and tried to have him fired. And some of them justifiably so. But let's not act like that this guy don't care about what people say about him. He does. But that's the crazy thing about it, man. This guy's supposed to be the GOAT, right? The greatest player of all time. Do you think GOATs give a fuck about what anybody got to say about them? All this shit people talk about Michael Jordan since The Last Dance. All these people out there that have done nothing but talk shit about him. Profited off of talking shit about him. Michael don't open his mouth because he don't give a fuck. Because he know what he is. So, that's all I got to say about this, man. Tell me what you guys think.